Hey, this is just a different type of video. It's not part of my regular journal. Uh, Basically, I'm just saying, like, just had an idea. I was thinking of all these things that are around these days that have changed, not exactly evolved from what they originally were meant to be and what their original goal was, or you know, and I'm kind of um follower of certain internet cultures. I'm very picky. Um, Nostalgia Critic is now retiring at the character. They're doing a whole studio thing. However, for right now, that's probably going to detract a lot of views from the website. And but since I'm talking about things that should end, I honestly believe that's probably the best decision for that guy with the glasses.com. They ever since Nostalgia Critic started doing or Doug Walker or whatever, I don't know him, so this is just my opinion video, people. Uh, Ever since he started doing videos that involved they were like classic horror movies or movies that everybody knew were bad anyhow, like when he did Stephen King movies, that's when things really went down the drain. And I honestly felt the character was he was basically fishing at that point. I mean, there was some good episodes afterwards, don't get me wrong, and To Boldly Flee was pretty good. I still like Kick-Assy the best, uh, for cheap internet movies. Um, but I do think that the show's uh, run its course, and he did the right thing with that. Uh, I guess in a more business sense, it probably would have been smarter to run the character at least, here and there until until he was ready for his next show with the studio and everything that he bought. But it's not a standard business anyhow. So do what you can with what you want. Um, I have noticed as well that James Rolfe, who is the angry video game nerd, has just about. I don't think he much enjoys doing what he does. I don't know any of these people, obviously. Could be completely wrong. But the angry video game nerd thing has long been long been fading out. I mean, there's only so many times you can say dumpster dick about something. And making poop jokes is kind of funny for just a certain amount of time. I don't ever feel the urge to go back and watch the videos again. Um, and I understand that he's trying to make movies and whatnot, and I think it's better for him to move on to bigger things. Uh, as for things right now that besides those internet culture things that are pretty much fizzing out right now, that are still pretty big actually. Um, I do have my doubts when it comes to shows, mainstream shows like like Family Guy, and that Family Guy for the last few seasons has been terrible. I mean, like shows feel like they're like 15 minutes long. Uh, there's lots of padding, filler, useless side stories that go nowhere, cheap jokes, cheap plots, rehashings of plots. In that sense, South Park has kind of hit that wall too, but I honestly think South Park is far more adaptable than Family Guy. The Simpsons, to me, I don't think is that bad. I don't think they're gonna end anytime soon. Maybe in the next 2-3 years. Because the show is a little bit. Actually, I'm a little bit older than the show, but it's been around since I've been alive. Like, it's been a huge part of my life, but you know, it's not being my life. I'd love to see The Simpsons go on until like I had kids, or my kids were my age right now. That'd be amazing. But it's not always a possibility. Uh, a series I do hate to see die out right now is Futurama, which is wonderful. It's a great show, but um, it's I did notice some problems here and there. Like it's Futurama. It's like a future critique type thing about how stupid this world is now compared to the future, which is just as stupid as it is. But I can kind of see why it was canceled. There's a lot of jokes that were made that are that were that dated almost instantly, and they do quote things that will definitely not be around in the future, like Facebook, MySpace at one point, uh, texting, all this. I mean, texting these days is like it's kind of it's still here and big, but it's compared to what it was like a year ago. It's kind of fizzling out too. I mean, it's still gonna be around for a little while, but people are just gonna soon realize, hey, I'm just basically using a instant messaging client or a very fancy pager. Um, uh, things that are fading out. You know, I hate to see the fact that there's a band I really followed when I was a teenager. They're a Japanese band, sadly, uh, which doesn't fit what I like now, but I still like them. Liked liked them. Their newest album sucked. I'm talking about Dir En Grey, of course. Um, I honestly gotta say that Ouroboros was okay. Marrow of a Bone holds some memories for me because I bought the CD when it first came out. I lost it. I got stolen, and I actually just recently found my own copy at a pawn shop, as fate would have it, I guess. And I bought it again. But I used to listen to it on the way to work, Marrow of a Bone. Uh, I used to have Withering to Death, but that was again stolen. I like metal, so but they're more alternative rock. Um, they've really really went down. Their newer songs, they have some creative bits to them, but when they try to be more thrash metally, metalcore, it doesn't work out. Dir En Grey was never one thing on any one CD. They always mixed metal, alternative, whatever they decided to be creative with. Um, I mean, I wish they would, sort of hark back to their origins, but they're not even that old of a band in the grand scheme of bands. I mean, even my favorite band, Gojira, is not that old. Um, and they're really not that famous either, but Dir En Grey is extremely famous and has a very good, very detailed backstory. Um, they obviously have great presence, but I've saw Dir En Grey live, and I'm sorry, but when it comes to their heavier songs, terrible performances. I know, blasphemy. But when it comes to like me listening to it and all of a sudden like it's just gritty vocals that don't I think that's why they changed. They changed to meet they changed so they'd be more live friendly. And I guess they are, but I'm not really feeling it anymore. The band has just lost that edge too. I mean, it's funny to think that when they were less edgy music, they had more of an edge than when they were edgier music. And I'm sorry to say that to any fans. I'm still a fan of them. Don't get me wrong, but I'm able to see that The Dir En Greys really hit the fan these days. They apparently got some new single coming out, but there's not even a like track to show what the single is. So how can I be excited for something I can't even hear? You know, it's music. Anyhow, this has just been one of my thinking videos outside. Thinking of things that should just end. I mean, I had my thoughts on that guy with the glasses and whatnot. Besides that, this won't go with the regular progress of my progressive journal statements and whatnot. Thanks for listening, though, for whoever listens, and feel free to leave a comment or anything. I haven't got a comment yet on any of my videos, so if you would like to leave a comment or yell at me about something, go right for it. I will respond if I can, because I'll respond to whatever I get, but sometimes it takes me a few days because it takes me a while to think up up a good response when it's a good question. Okay, thank you for listening.